Hello, everyone. You are tuned into Listen in 3D, episode number one. I'm Justin Reed.
And I'm Netta.
All right. And together we are Team 3D. So you're wondering, what the hell is Listen in 3D? Who is Team 3D? So let me explain. So this is going to be pretty much a new series that we're launching, a music podcast for the most part, where we discuss hip hop albums, hip hop songs, and hip hop artists with a little bit of R&B and rock and roll mixed in. Who knows? Maybe even some other genres beyond that. But for the most part, primary part, mostly hip hop. So the 3D pretty much stands for discuss, dissect, and debate. So pretty much we'll be doing those 3Ds and whatever hip hop album, hip hop artist, hip hop song that we're talking about. So that's pretty much what that's going to stand for. And aside from that, Team 3D, myself and Netta here. So pretty much, let's before we get into what the show will be about, well, I already explained a little bit. Let me just tell y'all a little bit about myself. I'm Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool. In terms of content creation history, I hosted a podcast, the Game and Watch podcast. Very successful for the most part. As of right now, we are on hiatus. It will be brought back pretty soon. We'll see. But at the time of this recording, we're still on hiatus right now. So, and then also I've done a few blogs, really a lot in the gaming space. This is my first time doing a music podcast, so I'm very excited about that. Looking to get into some of my favorite artists here about hip hop for the most part. And um, Netta, why don't you tell the world about yourself?
Well, I'm Netta, aka Wondrousnett on Instagram. Um, a few things I enjoy outside of listening to music is cooking, stargazing, um, philosophy. I like just watching debates. Um, I think that's about it.
That's about it. That's about it. So now that we did that, so pretty much we already told you what the show will be about. We'll just be going through hip hop albums. No order in particular, but we will give you a little sneak peek of what we'll be talking about and what we are, some of the artists we're looking forward to getting into. But first, let's get into how we got introduced to hip hop. I'll let you go first.
I guess I just got introduced just by, living normal life with my parents, listening to it in the car. I remember, like, in the early 90s, probably one of the first songs I remember is, like, Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise. I just remember just always having hip hop around. Later on, when I was in middle school, I would try to write raps. That didn't really catch on, but hip hop has always been a part of my life, and I look forward to doing this podcast for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, with hip hop turning 50, I've listened to a lot of hip hop over the years. I think my mom didn't really listen to it too much, so I had to get to it through other means growing up. Mainly just, I went to the YMCA as a kid growing up, so they would have hip hop playing, in the Y van, going there, whether it be on a trip or from school or whatever. So I think that was like really my first exposure to it, and then another exposure I got to it was from the Nickelodeon comedy show All That. I'm not sure if you watched it during that time, but like a lot of R&B and hip hop artists were like the guests on the shows during that time. Like you had, like you said, Coolio, who will be definitely be talking about on this podcast, and TLC was another one. Just to name a few from the top of my head. I think that was kind of my gateway to it. So thank you, Nickelodeon, I guess. But and then it kind of just stuck through there, and just listened to it over the years, getting cassette tapes, getting CDs. Always trying to find the sound that looks good, sounds good, And with hip hop turning 50, I'm pretty excited to be doing a show like this, and see a lot of these types of shows online, and I figured why not. But at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you, I am not a music expert, so uh, but definitely that's how we got into it. So now that we got through how we got introduced, some of our favorite artists that you just listened to growing up over the years. It can be in hip hop, R&B, outside of the two genres for the most part.
Um, and I'm no hip hop expert either because my main thing I listened to was R&B. Uh, I remember when I was like probably 5 or 6, I got a Brandy cassette. I was
Right.
very into Brandy, all things Moesha, all that
Moesha.
kind of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. um, besides that, I guess growing up. I guess all the classic R&B artists, Monica, Tony Braxton, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, um, just really all things R&B.
All right, right on. That's good. For the most part, for me, besides Coolio, another artist I liked growing up was, well, group actually, Bone Thugs and Harmony. They really uh, stuck with me just growing up. Also, Ice Cube. I grew up on the West Coast, still live on the West Coast. So anything out of the West, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Warren G, the whole G Funk sound, and then on the East Coast, Biggie definitely, Jay Z, is definitely a big artist. DMX definitely really stuck with me over the years, and
Were you old enough to have been aware of the whole East Coast West Coast
uh,
thing?
yeah, I was. I was actually in the sixth grade when both Tupac and Biggie were murdered. That's a shame that their murders still have not been solved to this day. But yeah, I was old enough for that. But I mean, yeah, definitely. We I I definitely got cassette tapes growing up, and then if you've ever had a cassette tape, it wears out the more you play it, and it also depends what kind of tape player you're putting it into. So a lot of them broke or just couldn't function anymore. So unfortunately, I had to throw them away. I still have CDs in my big CD wallet I used to roll around with. Some of them have been thrown away. If I do have a prop to show, like before, like we do an episode, I'll definitely show you like the box art or whatever. Or but we definitely will have the box art displayed along with the track list of whatever artist album we're talking about. So everything will be through a generator, and just for the most part, I don't want to be like one of those guys be like, "Hey, this album's a 5 out of 5. Go pick it up," or "This is 1 star." Like, I mean, we're not here to. I mean, we're here to review albums, but we're not here. We're not like critics or anything. We're not going to tell you to go pick up the album. I mean, we'll definitely give our recommendations, and then just definitely just see what the artist was trying to say on the album, and if we just recommend, but I'm not going to give it like an actual score, like a B or C or anything like that. Like. So yeah, we don't plan on doing that. But I mean, but anyway, yeah. So for me, yeah, definitely. I guess in terms of some like albums, I mean, there's so much out there by so many artists, but definitely Gangsta's Paradise from Coolio, East 1999 from Bone Thugs and Harmony, Ice Cube's Lethal Injection. Those are definitely some of my favorites. Uh, and just uh, yeah. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. Just probably just so excited to just get this podcast going. But and
Yeah, I really don't have like a experience with listening to full hip hop albums, so this is gonna be like a new thing to me. But a couple of singles that I just love. It's like One Mic by Nas, Holla at Me by Tupac, and
Mm.
I Wonder by Kanye. Those are just probably like three of my favorites. But I look forward to being able to listen to the albums in full and reflect upon them.
Yeah, that's good for the most part. Oh, a few other of my favorites, definitely E40, NWA. Hopefully, we can get some Nate Dogg in there. I mean, I really like me some Nate Dogg. 3 6 Mafia is another artist or group I'd like to definitely explore too. So, and then in terms of episodes we'll be doing, well, we have a whole like lineup um, of like 50 episodes ready to go. So we do have a lot of content coming, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. So, but I mean, definitely for me, I know I'm definitely looking forward to with the list that we put together. Definitely want to get into you know Common. Common, I feel is an artist I haven't explored a whole lot, so I definitely want to see what he has to say. Most Def is another artist. Nicki Minaj, we have on this list, and also for me, believe it or not, the Beastie Boys. uh, a- any artists on the upcoming episodes that you're really looking forward to, or that you want to explore more of?
Well, yeah. I currently watch the Brat's show that she has on, I think, Weed TV with her and her wife, and I enjoy watching it. But
Oh
you
yeah.
have her album on the list, and I I can't really think of an album of hers I've ever heard, or really even a song besides that remix she did with Destiny's Child, like in
Oh,
the 2000s.
oh, you're
So,
gonna be in for a surprise when we do that episode. I know it's a
so
little
you've listened to her album before?
uh well, not all the way through, but I mean definitely some singles I can recommend for you when we get to that album. So yeah, I think you'll be real excited. I know it's a little ways down the line, but we'll definitely get to it. Oh, speaking of the brat, she had her baby, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think she did like maybe like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I know she was pregnant.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations to her and her lady for that.
right. Um, some artists. Um, did you want to list some other artists you like from other genres?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. In terms of other genres, R&B. I mean, well, TLC. I mean, I know they're believe it or not, they're on the list, so we will be talking about them. But in terms of other R&B artists, Mariah Carey, I liked a lot growing up. Like you said earlier, Tony Braxton, Whitney Houston. I love Aaliyah. Aaliyah was one of my favorites during high school. She was very, very sad how she was taken from us too soon. And Alicia Keys is another R&B artist. Then also, I do like The Rock as well. I would have to say, yeah,
He
Lincoln.
raps?
Say again?
The Rock, as in the wrestler guy?
No, 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 no. Rock and roll.
Oh, okay.
Maybe The Rock raps. I don't know, but no. No, no. Lincoln Park is definitely a artist. If we do, I mean, I have ideas, a lot of ideas for this too. So EPs. So I mean, hopefully we could see Lincoln Park on this show. So I mean, I would like to definitely do them. Limp Bizkit, definitely the early 2000s rap rock combination thing. I mean that's another artist I like. Let's see, in terms of that, System of a Down is a pretty good rock band that I enjoy. Let's see, and oh, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're probably my favorite. And then if you're going to funk, definitely I can always do some Zapp and Roger, George Clinton, the whole Parliament Funkadelic thing. The stuff that a lot of the artists I listen to were inspired by growing up. So yeah, I mean the list goes on, and then of course, the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. So Any other artists outside of R&B or rap that you're into?
Um, I guess does Ed Sheeran count as R&B?
I guess so. If you want to,
I I like Ed Sheeran. I like that guy Sam Smith. Um, yeah, I guess that's it. I don't stray too far outside of the hip hop and R&B thing, but I'll listen to anything that makes me feel something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think all artists out there have something to offer, so definitely we'll we'll definitely check it out, and then definitely going into what are your expectations for this podcast that we're putting together? What do you want our listeners to get out of it?
I hope that we can explore albums in a way that people haven't done before. Um, we can try to view the story that they're trying to tell, or uh, I want to listen to what they're saying and how they're saying it, and try to experience it the way it was intended to, and also provide some commentary that's maybe unintended, because a lot of these albums are like a couple of decades old, and it's going to be interesting to look back on uh, you know things that they were saying back then that we would
Yeah.
never say, or
Mhm.
just they looked at the world a different way. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see if these albums have aged well or not, depending upon some of the lyrics we go through, or what was being said during that time. Like I don't know if you ever watched Saved by the Bell, but like the big like Zach Morris cell phone, like obviously something like that hasn't aged very well. But I mean, I mean, for me, definitely, I do want to give these artists and albums their flowers. I mean, you know, we are going to do like all the big acclaimed albums, but we're also going to throw in some of our favorites as well. Definitely, I want to bring some of ourselves to this show. Also, I just don't want to do like the greatest 200 albums of all time. You got to start with this one. Like, no, no. Like, I also want to do maybe some stuff that people have never heard of before. And, just give the artists, their flowers, their time to shine. And, if they see this, just as an appreciation to them, just a thank you. And, that's what I'd want the viewers or listeners to get out of this show. So, definitely that will be, good to come across. So we're almost done with our first episode here, not too long. So before we go, want to discuss what you are currently listening to, or anything that you're listening to that you would like us to know?
Sure. There's a song. I think it's classified as Afro beats. It's called "Water" by Tyla.
Hmm.
I've been listening to that a lot. The the song "People Make the World Go Round" by Michael Jackson. I've been listening to that.
Oh, that's a good
Um,
song.
and then Doja Cat. Doja Cat has a has a song where she's talking about how she's like a devil or something, and
Hmm.
I've been listening to that. What about you?
Well, I've been bumping some 3 6 Mafia. I listened to one of their albums the other day. I think it was Most Known Unknown, I think it was called. It's not an album we have on the list. And then I put together a playlist by Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was listening to a little bit of them at the time of this recording. Well, one of the rappers in the group, Crazy Bone, is in the hospital right now. Hopefully, wishing him a speedy recovery. Something very, very serious. So it hasn't been too good for them. So I've been listening to a little bit of them. Also, just got my prayers, got my mind on him, and then of course just whatever comes up on my playlist. I think I do like Kelly Clarkson. I was listening to one of her songs, "Fighter," I think it was called, or something. I forget. And then uh, yeah, that's really about it in terms of what I've been listening to. I hadn't been listening to too much. Oh, but I also have been bumping the album we're going to be reviewing on our next episode. So, but
Same.
that's going to be a surprise. We're just going to pretty much drop it, and then Might do a little short of when the episode was on a drop, and then just do that from there. So uh,
That sounds good. I'm really looking forward to reviewing that album as well. I never even heard it before, and it really surprised me.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure we have a lot to say, but we're just keep it simple for this episode. Anyway, anything you would like to say before we sign off for this episode?
Not much. I'm just looking forward to listening to the music and experiencing it and sharing it and putting it out into the universe and hopefully somebody out there connects with it.
Sounds good. Likewise, and then also for me, just stay tuned. We have a lot of great content coming for you guys. Hopefully, you enjoy it. If you are watching on YouTube, definitely give us a like to this video, subscribe, and also please leave us a comment with any feedback. And we should be on all listening platforms as well if you're listening to us. So wherever you're listening to us, definitely leave us a comment. Uh, be very, very appreciated. With that being said, for Netta, I am Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool. And thank you for watching or listening to episode 1 of Listen in 3D. We look forward to having you on our journey. Thank you very much.